Hey, you guys. I am back today with another video. Listen, I am super excited about today's topic. I think it will be coming on all this week because I want you guys to know that this thing called entrepreneurship, it is not for the faint at heart. So, for those of you that are new to my channel, I am LaTersa Blakely. I am a mompreneur, been in business for about 10 years now, and I've learned quite a bit along the way. So, today I'm going to be sharing with you my top 10 things that I've learned in business. And with you, so hopefully you won't go down the same path that I've been. So listen, it's gonna be hilarious. And stay tuned for Thursday's video because it's talking about the craziest things I've done in business. So listen, if y'all ready for some good laughs and you need something to kind of carry you now that we're in this quarantine and all that stuff. If you want some good laughter, then hey, you in the right place because your girl over here love to laugh. So listen, as I say all the time, if you are new here, welcome. If you are oldie but a goodie, welcome back. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, turn on your bell notifications so that you won't miss a new video. I uploaded a new video this morning showing you guys how to do Bantu knots for all you natural girls out there. So make sure you check that video out from this morning. And so we're going to jump right into it because I know this is lunchtime for some of you guys and all of that. So we're going to go ahead and get right into this. The 10 things I've learned in business. So some of these are going to be really funny and some of them are not. But the first thing I learned is you got to have something more than money that's driving you in business. Because like with anything, when you first start your business, the money is not going to come because it's a lot of groundwork that goes into starting a business, making sure that it's profitable. And that's why it is so important for you to do your due diligence, do your homework for the industry that you're thinking about going in, because it's nothing like starting a business and you're in an industry where nobody's really buying, where nobody's really interested in. That's why doing your homework is so super important. And the thing that I say is it's great to go into business because you want to make money, you want to create an additional stream of revenue. And that's great because that's what we all want is when we start our business, we want it to be profitable. We want it to be another stream or source of income, but that cannot be your only driving force because I'm telling you, a lot of business go bankrupt within the first 3 years because it is hard, you guys. It is not for, I tell people every time I talk to people, being an entrepreneur, mompreneur, whatever way you want to look at it, it is not for the faint at heart, you guys. You have to be in this thing for the long haul. And if you're thinking you're just going to start your business today and months from now you're gonna be six figures, I mean, it can happen because the God we serve, he's an awesome God. And if he blessed you with certain gifts and skills, your gifts will make room for you. But for the average person, it's going to take you at least a year or two to even start to see a consistent stream or flow of revenue. And I'm telling you guys, if money is your only driving force, you are going to be very disappointed in business because your money in business goes just like a roller coaster. It goes down, comes up, you do really good, goes down, comes up, goes really good, goes down. And it's like an emotional roller coaster because that's truly what being an entrepreneur is. You're like on this emotional roller coaster. Like this week, you do really good in business. Then next week, you don't hear crickets, you hear nothing. You start to second guess. Am I doing this right? Am I in the right business? Why am I not making money? I did all, you guys, with my own business. Because when I first started, you guys, I'm telling you guys, I wanted to throw in the towel so many times because the money just was not coming. Like I'm doing all this work. And if you've been following me for some time now, you know that I'm an energizing bunny. Like I can go. And I'm always thinking about stuff I'm always going and going and going. But at some point, you got to get down, get really crystal clear on what's your objective, what's your goals. Because if you're just working and doing things just because, you're going to be in for a rude awakening. Because being an entrepreneur, things are not always going to be the same, things are not always going to work the same way. You can take 5 of the same people and give them the same idea, but I guarantee you're going to have 5 different results or 5 different products. Because you know why? Everybody's creativity is different. And when you're talking about starting a business, you got to really be on your A game. You can't come in here nearly willing. And that's some of the things that, new entrepreneurs, they get it twisted. Because a lot of times they're listening to these gurus that they have a 9 to 5. So they ain't really hurting for money. So they're working on their business on the side. Just like me, when I first started, I was working a 9 to 5, and I still work a 9 to 5, so to speak, but I work from home. So I do work from home jobs from home. But at the same time, you got to be able to make sure that your overhead cost is paid for. And when I say overhead, I'm talking about your rent, your food, your clothes. You got to make sure your main necessities are taken care of. Because you listening to all these gurus is telling you step out on faith and do all this and take your savings and do all that. Listen, especially if you're a single mama like myself, you can't afford to take your savings and go take a leap of faith and start a business. Now you're struggling. Now you're about to be homeless. Now you don't have money to feed your kids because you listen to these people online telling you to take a leap of faith when they got a 9 to 5 and their bills are paid. But you struggling because you just started your business and you done took all your savings or your last paycheck. You done up and quit your job. You don't have a plan A or B. So these are the things you got to keep into place when you're talking about starting a business. These are some things that I learned the hard way. You can't do what everybody else is doing because, number one, you don't know everybody's household situation. You don't know everybody's living situation, and you don't know what everybody's finances are. So when you're thinking about starting your business, my best advice to you is if you got a 9 to 5, keep that 9 to 5, because you know why? That's your investor. They're using you to build their dreams. Why not use them to build and fund your dreams? That's how I start looking at my 9 to 5. Because when I first started, people was telling me, you got to take a leap of faith, LaTersa. You got to believe. You got to have faith. Yeah, you got to have faith and believe and do all that. But you got to first have some common sense. Because you cannot do what everybody else is doing. You know your household better than anybody. Don't let people online and everybody else get inside of your head, making you feel bad because you still have a 9 to 5. That 9 to 5 is your best avenue in order to start your business, because at least you know you got consistent revenue coming in. Because starting that business today and thinking around the corner you're going to be able to pay your rent, you're going to be very disappointed. So listen, you got to have something more driving you than money, because when you first start out, your money is going to be looking real funny, because this week you may have 2 clients. Next week, you may not even have a client at all. So I'm just telling you, these are some things I learned throughout my journey, and I'm still learning, but these are my top 10 that I've learned in my 10 years of being in business. The second thing I learned since being in business is, when you make a mistake in business, own up to it. Here's the thing. We are all human. If you have a client and you messed up something, maybe you didn't do, you were late to the consultation or something, your emergency happened, apologize and make it right. If you did a course and you left out something or the link didn't work, we all human. Things happen. Just own up to it. Make it right. I have even done this. Have told somebody, have scheduled a consultation, and one of the kids got sick at school and just blew my mind. Everything. You know, when it comes down to your babies, you forget everything. If an emergency comes up and the baby is sick, you forget everything. But you know what I did? I'll either throw in another coaching session for free, or I'll either throw in a course or something that they need that will help them, throw it in there for free for making a mishap. It happens, you guys. We are all human. In business, you're going to make mistakes. I'll give you another example I made. I'm fresh in new in my first mastermind, and how the coach was teaching us is go find your top 5 businesses in your industry and kind of see how they write their about me or their products page, and you do the same thing. Well, my little happy-go-lucky self, I just copied some of their lyrics and didn't even try to change it around. And I'm just being transparent, being honest. You guys don't do what I did. And this particular person contacted the coach that I was coaching. It's like, is that what you're teaching your clients, to just copy people's stuff word for word? So I got it up, you guys. When I tell you I was in the hot seat, and I owned up to it. I was like, I thought I was changing, this word every now and again, every sentence I would change a word. That's not how you do it. When you look up your competition, you look at it to see how you can do yours better. You get an idea of what the market is already doing, what the clients are already paying for. That's what you do when you do your market research on your companies that are in your industry. Don't copy stuff, because that's copyright infringement, some legal stuff. Just thank God that, it didn't turn ugly or nothing like that. But when I was told to do this, because that's how they were teaching, you find a website and you just do what they're doing. But when I got in the hot seat, the coach acted as if I was just out there nilly willing. So I owned up to my part, and as hurtful as it was, I did it. And I had to put my big girl panties on. So when you make a mistake in business, you guys, what you gonna do? Just try to make amends, try to make it right. Because now with the way internet is and social media and all of that, it only takes for one mistake, you guys, and your whole business that you worked hard for can be down the drain just like that. All it takes is one upset customer, one upset client, and your whole 4 to 5 years you've been in business, or however long you've been in business, will be shot to hell. So when you make a mistake, make amends, do right, own up to it. Put your big girl panties on and own up to it, you guys. And then the third thing I learned while being in business is I learned to charge my products and services according to my worth, my time, and my value. What does it mean for me when I create a program? How long does it take me to create this program? What's all included in it? Will I have to be live on the phone with you? The closer you get access to me, the more the fee, the rate is going to be. When I first started, I was just looking at what everybody else was doing, and I was like, okay, well, they put $297. I'm going to put $297. You don't know the behind the scenes, the structure, or anything like that. So when you're just going off of what everybody else is doing, you may be lowballing yourself. So when you are in your creativity zone and you're creating a new course, or you're creating a coaching session, or like now I'm getting ready to have the 3-day diaper cake business boot camp. So the link is in the description if you are interested in starting your gift business, starting your diaper cake business, and you want to know the ins and out. I'm doing a 3-day boot camp, you guys. You're going to be able to get your questions answered. We're going to be talking about all types of things that you need in order to have a successful business. So if you are interested, make sure you get on the waiting list so that you'll be the first to get all the details. But when you're doing your programs and your products and services, don't go by what everybody else is doing. When you set your rate and you believe it's a fair enough rate for the market, first you do your research and see what the market will bear. And once you get that information and you put your price on it, don't allow other people to make you feel bad for your price. I used to have it all the time. People like, your price too high, or why you charge this much? I stopped responding, because when I start to charge what I was worth, I'm not listening to people that are never probably going to pay anything or buy anything from me. And then too, it always seems like it be the ones that always want the free stuff, that got everything to say about what you're doing and how you should be doing it, why you shouldn't do this, why you shouldn't do that. Stop listening to them naysayers and them people that's only looking out to get what they can get from you for free. Stop paying attention to people that's coming to you telling you, I want to coach with you, but your price is too high. Those are not your clients. And you have to be okay with that. Because see, what I would do is I would have a discount. Forget about discount. Discounts is not going to pay your bills. Discount is not going to put food on your table. Discount is not going to put clothes on your baby's back. So all that discount just shortballed me. It's like I got the end of the stick. And what I failed to realize at the time was you can be the cheapest person on the block. That still doesn't mean people are going to pay for it. You got to know your worth and your value. And then you got to start moving and shaking accordingly. Because here's the thing, everybody is not your client. And if people are coming to you complaining about your products and your services and your fee and all of that stuff, those are not your ideal clients. You got to figure out when you put a price on something, you be confident and bold enough to say, you know what, this is my price. It is what it is. If I happen to have a sale every now and again, you may want to catch it then, but if not, I'm going to still do what I do. And just like you can't allow other people to dictate how you charge your products and services. You know what your worth is. And as they always say, when you know what your worth is, add the tax to it and keep on moving. That's what you have to do. And then the fourth thing that I learned in business is everybody is not for you. And here's why I say that. You can't do everything that somebody else is doing. And I'll give you a prime example. Y'all know I always share examples with you guys. When I was in business, I think it was about my second or third year, and I had went to this big event, this big conference, and in my brain, because I love a challenge, I was like, you know what? If they can do it, I can do it too. But see, what I failed to realize is I didn't have the money resources that they had. I did not have the connections that they had. I did not have the following. My following wasn't huge. So me trying to put on this big conference was very expensive for one. And then two, I didn't have a lot of signups. People were saying out their mouth they were interested, but nobody was opening their wallets. I was getting sponsorships, trying to get sponsorships, but because nobody knew who I was, that goes all back to it's a time and a place for everything. You can't do what everybody else is doing, and it's not your time. If you don't have, and with the way the world is now, if you don't have a social presence or social following, and sometimes depending on if you don't have a big enough following, it's going to be hard for you to put on a conference to host like 50 to 100 people when you don't have the resources. It's the real truth, you guys, because at the end of the day, just because somebody else has a big conference and they're successful with it, that doesn't mean you can do the same thing, because one, it costs money to have a big, huge event. You got to have sponsorships. You got to have sponsorship contracts. You got to have things in place where you got to have volunteers, people to help you at the event. If you don't have a team, I'm telling you, you're going to be shot to heck. Nobody can do a conference by themselves. In my brain, because I'm a big thinker and I'm a huge go-getter, you couldn't tell me I was going to have the event. I had the place picked out. I had maybe one or two sponsors. I was going to have this big, huge, lavish event because I like nice things. So I was like, oh, this is going to be great. Didn't have no signups. I didn't have my sponsors backed out. I had all these worthy bags and all this stuff planned, but it all failed. And do I regret it? No, because it taught me a huge lesson. It's a time and a place for everything, and everything that somebody else does in their business is not for you. And you have to be okay with that. You do events on the level of where you are. And so I'll give you fast forward a few years later, I had my very first live workshop. It was 7 people, and I'll include my mom and my baby girl. It was 7 people, and I had the best time ever. Yeah. Right. And see, sometimes you just have to start where you are. Sometimes you may have to do a virtual event. to cut down on the overhead, the cost, because trying to put on a live event, you guys, it costs money. You got to plan for the event. You got to pay for the venue. And when I fast forward and had my first live, I think it was called Self-Love is Healing, because y'all know I'm all about positivity. And I gave away 2 of those seats, and then 3 people purchased, and then I had my mom and my sister. You know, you always got to have somebody there that got your back. It just helps you to do better in business when you have an event and you got somebody there that's on your team, like loves you, adores you. Because listen, these big events and stuff, it takes a lot out of you. I'm telling you, I had a girlfriend that had a conference, and she was pregnant at the time when she was doing this event, and it was stressful. So not even to think about all the stuff that I just mentioned, and then you add to it, you pregnant at the same time. Y'all, it takes a lot to plan an event. And if you don't have a good, solid, strong team, don't you come running your little happy little self up there talking about you finna do a live event or a live conference. Start small, start virtually, build up that conference online before you take it offline, because I'm telling you, the overhead is a whole lot cheaper than it is in having a real live event. And then too, you got to understand, when people don't really know, like, and trust you, you can have the best conference in the world, but if you ain't got somebody to vouch for you, or you don't have the social proof, and good thing I had social proof, it just, I didn't have a big enough following. So start where you are, right, Liz? Start exactly where you are. And then the next thing I learned is, like I just mentioned, you got to build your audience up first. You got to build that know, like, and trust factor up. Before people ever break out a wallet or anything, they are buying into you. So your brand, take it serious. Don't nilly-willy stuff. Don't half-ass stuff. If you're going to make a course, put your 100% best foot forward. I always tell people, over deliver. If you go back and look at any of my clients, past or present, they will always tell you, first of all, LaTersa is very goofy. She's very silly, but she over delivers. She give you way more than what you paid for. Over deliver. Let people size you up. Let people fall in love with you, because you're the brand. Before they ever break out a wallet, buy anything. When I first started my first business, which was the diaper cakes, they wasn't interested in a diaper cake as much as they was interested in learning who I was as a person. See, you got to have some values and things in place. You got to have some things that you just, if you don't have these qualities, I can't work with you. You can't work with everybody. As much as people inbox me and DM me, I love what you're doing and I want to collab, I can't work with everybody, because first of all, I've spent too many doggone years working and building this brand that you see. And second of all, I don't know your track record. And then I don't know your track record. I can't afford to put my business on, put it out there and connect with yours. You may have a bad rep that you don't do what you say you do. When in my case, I try to show up. If I say I'm coming on, I'm coming on. If I say I'm going to deliver you a course at such and such time, that's how I'm going to do it. I've spent too many years working hard to just partner up with anybody. That's why it's important for you to do your homework. That's why it's important for you to do your work, your research. And a lot of times as new entrepreneurs, we hate doing research. I hated it with a passion. That's probably why I made so many mistakes, because I love Googling and learning stuff, but when it came down to doing marketing analysis, finding my ideal order, I didn't want to do all that, because it takes hours to sit down and find out where your audience is. It takes time to find out where your audience is shopping, what they like, what they don't like. It takes time to figure out what's your income bracket, what's your ideal audience income bracket. Are they married? Are they single? Are they moms? You got to do all that stuff in business. And a lot of times newpreneurs, they don't want to do that. And that's why they don't last long, because again, I'll keep saying it, entrepreneurship is not for the faint at heart. If you are not in this thing with tough skin for the long haul, you will not make it in this industry. And I don't care what business it is, you won't make it, because any little thing that trips you up, you ready to throw in the towel. So you got to have some tough skin in this business. And then the next thing I learned is when somebody shows you who they are, don't make no doggone excuses. Don't try to just make it sound better than what it is. If somebody show you that they don't have integrity, that they are not good to work with, trust your gut. I'm telling you guys, I could have saved thousands of dollars. I could have saved myself a lot of heartache if I had to listen to that little nudge that said, you know what, Tersa, this person is not the coach for you. You can't do that. But what I do, I ignored that little voice because they were the big gurus. Everybody was talking about them. Everybody was flocking to their conferences, their events. But if I had to listen to that little small voice inside of my head that says, Tersa, you may want to pass on this, it would have saved me a lot of headache. Because here's the thing. Everybody that says they're a business coach or a life coach and all of that, and they have all these great testimonials on their site, here's what I want you to learn about this. Not all testimonies are real. You can pay to have people to put testimonies on your site. You can pay to have a nice, pretty, elegant website put up. You can go prop up beside the best house, the biggest Lamborghini or whatever your dream car is. You can go have a photo shoot, pay $90-something or whatever the price is, have a photo shoot, and you got an elegant, extravagant website. You got these clients raving about you, but you can pay people to do that stuff. And it's sad to say, but people do that. I can't do that. I don't have that kind of money to be paying people to put some fake stuff up. People do that stuff, but it's sad to say you have to be careful when you are investing your money. Every time somebody says they're a business coach and they can make you six figures and all that, you need to start asking people for income tax reports. You need to start asking people for bank account statements. If you're real about this thing and you say you're making all this money, before I give you $1,200, I need to see some receipts. Because if you're saying you're making all this money, you should have some type of proof or something. You'll never see me posting income reports because, one, I don't want everybody knowing how much money I make. That's not for the public's eye. And I know I see bloggers do it. I don't necessarily believe in it, but a lot of times these reports are fishy because they're showing you what they made for the month, but they're not showing you the expense side of it. They could have made $30,000 in 1 month, but the expense about $25,000. So really, in actuality, you just made $5,000 in net profit. You didn't make no $30,000. But people run to this, and I'll give you an example. I got tripped up in it. I'm just telling you guys the honest God truth. I pray that you learn from my mistakes. Years ago, when I was just coming on a scene and I was a blogger, I'm still a blogger, but I've been doing blogging now for about 10 years, and I still can't show you a report where I made $50,000. I just, I can't show you that. I'm not finna front. I'm not finna lie. But it was frustrating that I've been blogging all these years, and I'm just now at the point where I'm learning the real behind the scenes of what it takes to be a full-time, profitable blogger. So I got caught up in the hoopla about this course. It was about $300-something to show me how to make money with my blog. But when you really got into the course ain't really showed you nothing about making money with your blog. But what this person was doing was that one revenue stream that was making her a whole bunch of money. Come to find out, it was only because of an affiliate product, which is Bluehost. And I was like, I could kick my own self in the butt for this one. I done spent almost $300-something, and here it is years later. I still ain't no further along than it's sad, but it's true, you guys. So when people show you who they are, please believe them. Please do your research before you start opening your wallet, whether it's to me or anybody. Do your research, ask questions. Talk to previous clients. And mind you, some clients going to be bitter and some will be still good. But you have to at least do enough research to know, is this a good investment for me? Can I afford this type of investment right now? And here's another thing. Don't allow people to trip you up because you can only invest $47. If that's all you got, baby, find you the best course for $47. And trust you me, what I've learned, just because a product is more expensive, don't mean you're going to learn a lot from it either. Because here it is, 2020, I took this blogging affiliate course maybe 6-7 years ago. I just took one in February, and I've learned more from this little $57 pro product than I learned from the $300-something product. So you can't always base whether or not you're going to learn more because the ticket price is more, because it could be a high price ticket and you learn nothing. So hear me when I say, if you can only invest in the level where you are. And when you make more and you have more to do, then invest more. But here's what I want to say about this. Don't just be buying a whole bunch of stuff because you see everybody else buying it. Because I'm telling you, that shiny object syndrome thing, it had you over there broke. I mean, you'd be over there, you'd be looking good, have your Facebook pictures looking all glamorous, and it made it look as if you making a lot of money, and you sitting over there broke is I don't know what. So you got to be careful, you guys. Before you start to invest, make sure it's something that you don't already know. Stop investing in stuff because you like somebody. It's great that you like me, but you may have outgrown my products and services. If you are a mid to advanced business owner, you wouldn't necessarily be investing in my business startup because you way past that level. Just because you love and adore me, I probably will stop you and say, wait a minute, especially if I know you, I don't think you need this product. I don't want your money that bad where I just want you buying everything and it ain't helping you, because that's not helping me. I want to see results. When you purchase something from me, I want you to say, when I took LaTersa's course, I came in there just as dumbfounded as ever. I didn't know quite. But when I took this course, I learned X, Y, and Z. Not, oh, shoot, I didn't even really need this course. I already know this. So be mindful of when you start to buy these certain products and stuff. Look at the fine print. Ask questions before. And if it's a true business owner, they'll answer your questions without getting an attitude, because they know how it is when you're starting out and you want to learn more, but you don't have necessarily a lot of money to invest. Invest where you are. And then too, for my 9-to-5 gals, you got an advantage over the people that are just doing their business by itself, because you got a regular check coming in. And I always tell people, use your 9-to-5 as your investor for your business. Because guess what? You can spend $20 to $30 here and there when you're working and you got a consistent stream of revenue coming in. But when you don't have money coming in, $30 is a lot of money. And that's just keeping it real, you guys. And I'm going to get off of that because I'll be on that all day. And then the next thing that I learned is you want to collaborate with like-minded people. Like I said before, you can't collaborate with everybody. Everybody is not going to get your mission. They're not going to understand your values, your work ethic. You want to collaborate with like-minded people. Like I always say, I love masterminds, small, intimate groups of maybe 3 to 5 people. You bounce an ideal off of this person, they bounce an ideal off of you, and y'all just go. It's like the whole mastermind is full of creativity, full of ideas. That's where you want to be if you're trying to grow as an entrepreneur. You don't want to be around people that are down here and you're up here, because sooner or later they're going to pull you back down. Either you're going to be strained and burnt out trying to pull them up to your level. So collaborate with like-minded people, because at the end of the day, if you're the smartest person in the room, let me hear you guys know what the saying is. If you're the smartest person in the room, you need to get some new friends. And being an entrepreneur, I love being in the room with people that are smarter than me. It makes me grow. It helps me to stay active. Because listen, if I'm in the room with people just starting out in business, I get bored real quick. Like if you talk about stuff and I kind of already have some kind of ideal of how to do it, I get bored. And I don't know if you're like that, but leave me a comment. Let me know if that's you, because at the end of the day, you got to understand You cannot grow in a circle that's beneath you. And that's not being negative or anything, but when you're in business, you always want people around you that are smarter than you, that are go-getter. You want people around you that don't necessarily look like you, don't necessarily do the same thing you do, because believe it or not, you can learn a lot from people if you just keep that open mind, keep an open heart that, you know what, I don't know everything. Because the minute you start to get that attitude that you know everything, that's when you start to become stagnant. So make sure, you guys, at the end of the day, if you are even starting out in business, if you are been in business for a while, always remain a student. Never get to the place where you know everything, because nobody knows everything. Even me, and I've been in business 10 years and I'm still learning. I still find myself reading. And I'm going to show you what I've been reading lately. Hold on. I'm going to show you. I've been reading these books back to back. They are by Jen Cicero. I think I'm saying her name right. This one, because I'm always working on my personal development. You Are a Badass, How to Stop Doubting Your Greatness and Start Living an Awesome Life. And then I've been reading this one because, you know, a girl is always trying to keep her money flowing, get her money right. This one is You Are a Badass at Making Money, Master the Mindset of Wealth. These are two books that I highly recommend, that if you're trying to work on yourself and you're trying to get your money right. These are some things that I do. I look at motivational videos. I'm looking at entrepreneur videos. I can be on YouTube all day learning Jack Canfield, you know, learning about your mindset, you know, learning about business, you know, reading. Besides journaling, I'm always reading something to keep my mind active, because, you know, as you get older, you know, things start to slow down. So, you know, I'm a 40 plus girl. So I'm not in my 20s anymore. Those days was great, but my 40s are even better because I'm more wiser now. And so that's what you got to do, you guys. Collaborate with like-minded people, just like you're listening to me. It lets me know that you're either interested in business or you're already in business. That's what this video is all about. So when you connect with like-minded people, you can make some of your besties in business. When you're that type of person that has that personality and you love meeting people, you love learning, you can make some of your best friends in business, and you can make some of your worst enemies too. So just throw that out there. And then the next thing, number 8 is number 8 is you don't have to attend every event just because you know about it. I'm telling you guys, when I first started out, every conference that popped up, I wanted to be at it. Whether I could afford it or not, I wanted to be. And I'm here to tell you, you don't have to be at every conference that opens up or that's promoted on social media, because guess what? Just because it's a conference and it's a business conference, that don't mean you're going to learn something when you go there. Pick out those conferences, workshops, events that something where you know you're going to learn something. So I always do a rule of thumb now that I'm older and I'm wiser. I like to go to conferences where I know I'm trying to learn a particular skill or a particular mindset. Like I've been really wanting to go to a law of attraction conference or workshop or something, because I'm really into, you know, that whole positivity thing. So that's one of the things that I want to do when we are free up or whatever. But don't just be showing up at every event. If you're a business owner, go to events where your potential client's going to be. Go to events where you can learn how to be a better entrepreneur. Not necessarily just this all the time. People show up at every conference that you can think about. The people that with the big names, y'all know I ain't the only one that saw this. People that have the big names in the entrepreneur world, every time they have an event, you go because you're seen with the person, so you can promote it on social media. That can kind of heighten or increase your you know how they say you are popular by association. Just say, for instance, if I was going to, who's the big guru in motivation now? If I was going to a Tony Robbins conference and I get a picture with him, that's going to increase my chances of likelihood getting more followers, getting more clients, because listen, they look at Tony Robinson as the big guru. So that makes sense to you. Like it increases your credibility when you are seen with these gurus, billionaires, or whatever. And there's nothing wrong with that. But at some point, you got to start going to events where you're going to learn instead of going trying to be seen with a person. I still want to meet Oprah. And she came here back in January, but my funds just wasn't looking right. So I had to pass. But what I'm saying to you is be mindful of the events that you attend. Don't just attend because you want to be seen with the person. Go for the smooth intent that you want to network. You want to learn something. You want to learn something that you don't know. You spending money going to be seen. You putting money in other people's pocket, but your pocket is steady going down. Your pocketbook is steady going down, getting slimmer and slimmer. But you see with everybody, are you actually learning something? Are you actually implementing what you learned at the conference? It's great that you go into all these events, mastermind and boot camps, all this kind of stuff. And speaking of boot camp, I'm getting ready, you guys. I'm putting the details together. A lot of you guys have been reaching out to me. You want to coach with me on getting your diaper cake business started the right way. And where I would love to talk to all of you one-on-one, I just can't do it. Time won't allow me to do that. So I'm putting together a 3-day diaper cake business boot camp. And if you're interested, make sure you click the link. It's pinned at the top. Make sure you click the links to get on the wait list, because we're going to have 3 fun-filled days going all in. You're going to get all your questions answered. We're going to talk about legal structures, the legalistic things you have to have in order to be in business, things that you need to have as a business owner, what you need to do in order if you want to scale your business in the gift business industry. So we're going to talk about all things gift business, diaper cake business. So if that is something that interests you, make sure you guys sign up. The link will be in the description. It's also pinned at the top of this chat. But like I was saying, you don't have to be at every event, because every event is not for you. And when you're trying to go to events to find clients, you need to go where your potential clients are. Not necessarily if you're trying to reach moms, why are you going over here to something that's talking about, let's just say something for dads? If you know you're trying to reach moms, your audience are not dads. So why are you going over there? So does that make sense to you guys? And then the next thing that I had to learn the super hard way is let your friends and family be just that. Let them love you. Quit trying to force your friends and family to be your clients. They are not going to do it. And if they are doing it, they're doing it because they want to support you. Stop putting pressure on your family and friends to be in business and to do business with you and to think like you, because they're not going to think like you. You are an entrepreneur. We think totally different from the average person. And I remember when I first started out, I used to get in my feelings when my family didn't want to come to my event, when my siblings didn't want to come to my live events or support me, purchase one of my books or t-shirts or something. They're not interested in that. They want to see you do well, but they don't want to feel pressured into always having to buy something from you. So I had to learn early on, let my friends and my family be just that. Let them love me and praise me or do whatever they're going to do, but stop putting the pressure on your family and friends to do business with you, because that's not what they're there for. They are there to support you if they want to, if they choose to. If they don't, they're not bad people for not wanting to do what you want to do and what you love to do. They're not bad people for not showing up at your event and supporting you. Because here's the thing, 9 times out of 10, your family is not going to support you. And that's just the honest God truth. It's great and a blessing when you have a spouse that supports you and all of that. But I've lived on a side where I didn't have a spouse that supports me. He didn't really come to any of my events. I will say this, he did give me the seed money to start my company. But as far as like doing what I wanted him to do, come to my events and come to my book signings and do all the feelings, I was really hurt, because I'm like, man, I see all these other people and their husband coming to support them and their husband doing this and all that. And mine could care less, at the time when I was married. But that is something that I tell God all the time. I have to have support from my spouse, my future husband, my husband that's on the way. I need him to be kind of entrepreneur mindset because I'm a go-getter. I'm not that quiet woman that sits still. And while I love to be at home with my children, they're older now, I don't have to cook as much. I love being a wife and all of that, but I'm a go-getter. I like to go and do things. And I need my partner to be in that same kind of mindset because I need that support. That's something that I need in a relationship. Somebody that can support me, push me when I want to give up. I need that. I've never had that. So that is something that me and God, we talk a lot about because it's certain things that are deal breakers now. When you learn better, you do better. And not saying that my ex was a bad person because he didn't support me. But what I'm saying is I needed that and I wanted that so much and I didn't have it. And it left me feeling like I wasn't good enough a lot of times because my own spouse wasn't supporting me. How can I expect strangers out in the world to support me? So that was just something that I learned early on. Don't put a lot of pressure on your spouse or your family members to support you. They may not get it and they're not supposed to get it because at the end of the day, God put that dream or that desire in your heart, in your mind. He put those gifts inside of you. So not everybody is going to understand it, nor will they support it or get it. And you have to be okay with that. But if you have a preference, which my preference, I want him to support me. Like I want it to be where we make each other better, where we make each other a better person, a better business person, if that makes sense. And then my last and final tip, because I know you guys are probably ready to get some lunch or whatever, or what have you, but I do appreciate all of you for sticking it out with me. That's for make sure you get on the wait list, you guys, for the 3-day Diaper Cake Business Boot Camp is coming up shortly. Working on the logistics behind the scene. If you've ever wanted to coach with me or get on one-on-one with me, this would be your best bet because I can't necessarily do one-on-one with all of you guys, which I would love to, but time won't permit me to do that. So I'm having a boot camp for you guys. So if you got questions, make sure you bring all your questions because I love answering you guys' questions because I want to see you guys win, whether it's in a diaper cake business or just another type of business. I want to see all of you successful and win because at the end of the day, it's enough success for all of us to get a piece of the pie. We don't have to belittle anybody or step on anybody's toes to get what we need. It's enough for all of us to get a piece of the pie. So my last and final tip is never knock your small beginnings. We all had to start somewhere, you guys. And so never, I'm trying to think of the word I'm trying to say, never neglect or feel bad about your humble beginnings because we all started somewhere. Those gurus that you praising and that you love so much, they started somewhere. Oprah Winfrey is one of my all-time favorites. She got fired from a news anchor because she was trying to be like somebody else. That catapulted her and started her on her success journey when she decided that she wanted to have her own TV show. A lot of people told her that she wasn't going to do good. You hear me when I tell you she did good for years because I used to watch her when I was little at 3:00. That's when she first started coming on in 88, 89. She used to come on at 3:00 in the evening. When I would come home from school, that is who I would sit in front of the TV and watch. So she's been like a distant big sister, a distant life coach for me throughout the years. So what I'm saying to you guys is everybody started somewhere and nobody got to the top overnight. You got to go through some bumps and bruises. You got to go through the long haul. You got to be in this thing for the long haul. If you're going to have any type of success in business, whether it's life coaching, business, whatever type of business it is, anything in life really worth having, you're going to have to work for it. Not necessarily say you got to slave over and do all that stuff, but you're going to have to put your effort and time into it. And if you don't have the money to invest, you're going to have to invest your time. You're going to have to be willing to learn, read books on stuff. I tell people, if you can't afford a life coaching session or something, read their books if they have books. Read their blogs, look at their YouTube channel. Do what you have to do to get the knowledge that you need so that you can advance and move forward in your business. Don't allow, because you don't have the funds, Find the resources. If you can't invest financially, invest with your time, because you're going to have to learn. That's what I had to do. Because y'all know I was the freebie queen when I first began, and I didn't have a lot of money starting out. So I found myself in the library reading books, watching YouTube, watching other people's blogs, reading their blogs. That is what I had to do, you guys, in order for you to see the woman you see today. It took some years of me working hard behind the scenes. And here's a bonus one for you guys. Everybody don't need to know your next move. When you're in business and you're thinking about creating stuff, unless you're in a small mind, business mind, or mastermind, you don't have to tell everybody what you're trying to do. See, when I first started out, I was young. Your girl was young and she didn't really know better. New on the scene, new entrepreneur. I thought you just got to share everything. And I'm talking about personal and all. You ain't got to share none of that stuff. I mean, even though personal and business go hand in hand, some things you just need to keep to your doggone self. Because if it's something that you think about 3 to 5 years from now and you don't want people to know it, why are you posting that on social media? When you're getting ready to go to an event, go to the event, learn what you need, and then show the pictures. I always tell people, let your results speak for itself. You don't have to tell people every little move you're about to make. Because hear me when I say this, everybody ain't for you. Everybody don't want you to succeed. Everybody don't want to see you win. And here's the thing, you have to take notice of those people that are clapping for you in private, but they ain't clapping for you in public. You gotta be almost like a detective. You gotta scope out stuff. Stop talking so much, which I love to do, but stop talking so much and start observing. Observe those people who are always praising you and clapping for you in private, but in person, in public, you don't hear none of those things. And you have to be understanding of this. You have to really get this. Now, if you don't get anything else I tell you today, you be mindful of people who are always praising you in private, but in public have nothing to say. You know why that is? Because they're actually friends with somebody who don't like you, or they're in a circle of somebody who's not really all that into you. I'm telling you what, God loves you guys. I've lived it, experienced it. Them people that are always praising you in private, but they get around certain cliques or certain events and they don't know you. Watch out for them people, because they ain't out for no good. Do you hear me when I tell you, keep your eyes clear, keep your ears open, keep that heart open too, because I'm telling you, God won't let nothing slip up on you. He will always warn you before the fall. You know, in the Bible it says, pride comes before a fall. When you allow your ego to get in the way instead of allowing your heart to really see what you're really seeing, if people are treating you a type of way and it ain't making you feel good, why are you still following them? I'm telling you what God loves. Sometimes you got to detox from people. Sometimes you got to unfollow people. You got to get out of the circle with people. And you may have to be alone for a period of time. And it's okay. But you have to understand, when people show you who they really are, you need to believe them, because they know themselves better than you. You thinking they ain't really mean that little sly joke that they said and you felt some type of way about it. That was God telling you and warning you. You need to take heed to this. This person is serious. They may be joking, but they serious. Or every time you post something good about what you've done, every time you posted something good about what you've done, and they always try to throw in a little sly little comment to kind of, they try to say something nice, but it'd be like that dirty, nasty niceness stuff. Throw a little comment in there on the slide. Like, say for instance, I post something. Oh, I'm so happy I got 5 new coaching clients that signed up. Or it may be something about my person. Like, oh, God just blessed me with an amazing man. And it's too early for you to be posting stuff about your relationship at that early of a stage. But just say I post something like that. And then you got somebody that come on there and be like, oh, girl, that ain't nothing. He all right. You have to watch people like that always have something negative to say. You don't have to share your good news with everybody on social media. Some things you need to keep to yourself. Sometimes you don't have to work with everybody that's hot, everybody that's, sometimes you learn the best from people that are just starting out. Somebody that's small. You know, I'm a small fry in the pond. I'm a small fish in the pond. But you best believe everything that I have, I worked for it. You best believe I don't go in doing nothing shady, trying to get over on people, trying to lie to people. I tell you guys the honest God truth, because you know why? I would want you to tell me the truth. And I try to treat you just like I want to be treated. So if somebody is constantly coming to you with negativity, or every time you say something or you talk about something that's going great in your life, be mindful that you may have to start distancing yourself from that person or that group or whatever. And stop following people because they are the big guru. If they showed you who they are and they are not your cup of tea, take heed to that. Be okay with that, because you're not supposed to coach with everybody. Everybody that says they are a business coach or a life coach doesn't necessarily mean they really are. And why I say that is because nowadays you can throw a title on everything. And like I said earlier, you can pay people to post stuff on your website. You can go to Fiverr and get somebody to do a testimony for you. And they ain't never took a product, a class, or nothing you had. But that's how serious some of these people are when they try to portray this image. I'm not going to fake in front. You know, they always say fake it till you make it. I'm through with that faking it till you make it stuff. Because, hell, I may not ever make it faking stuff. But what I do now is I faith it. I walk by faith. But I also do what I know I can do at the moment. If I can invest on a certain level, I'll do that. If I can't, I don't have those guilt trips no more where I feel bad, because I only can do on the level where I am. Just like you. Don't allow people to make you feel bad for your financial situation. You know, if you are in need of money, don't go start no blog because you see everybody else said, I made $30,000 for my blog in my first year. That's great and dandy. But for the average person, you ain't gonna make that kind of money. You'll be happy if you made $3,000 in your first year. I'm just telling you the honest God truth. If you're hurt up for money, go get you a work from home job or go get you a part-time job to make sure your bills are paid. Stop allowing people to trip you up because you have to do what you got to do to make sure your household is right. Nobody is living in your house on social media but you. You know your finances. You know what goes on in your household. Stop letting strangers dictate how you run your household. You better be trying to strive for some peace. Because I'll tell you this one last story, and then I'm going to let you guys go because I've been on here about an hour, but I wanted to make sure you guys get this. But I was at a conference one year. Y'all know I've been to a lot of them. But I was at a conference one year, and the girl was complaining that her husband wouldn't let her invest $15,000 for this program. And she was like, well, I got the money in the savings. I should just go ahead and pay for it and then just deal with that when I get. I said, baby, I said, what you don't want to do is have turmoil in your house over finances. Y'all know that finance thing is one of the number one reasons in divorces, you guys. And do you hear me when I tell you this woman took $15,000 out of her savings joint account with her husband now? So she gonna have to go back home and explain to her husband why she took out $15,000 for a program. When I tell you it was about a month later and she emailed me and told me the horrible stuff that was going on in her household, I didn't say I told you so or nothing. I just listened. Because, you know, in the back of my mind, I was saying I wasn't finna get caught up in the hype. You know, when you at these conferences and everything sounding so good, you feeling good, you just got all this knowledge, you feeling real good. Hear me when I say that stuff die down when you leave the conference. And if you're making a decision based off of how you feel, your feelings are fickle. They change all the time. But if you're making a decision like that, that's something if you're married, that's something you need to talk over with your spouse. That's not a decision you make lightly without him. And what I'm saying to you is sometimes you can allow other people to get inside of your bedroom and mess up your whole thing that you worked for years I'm telling you what God loved. Now that ain't my story because we ain't had no $15,000 anyway in the savings. But what I'm saying to you, I didn't try to grab money from my joint account without consulting my ex-husband. I try not to do that because what you don't want bickering and arguing and all that stuff. And I don't like all that mess. My younger day, I used to try to have the last word. But at 42 years old, I don't like all that arguing and stuff. And so if I can cut down on less drama and stress, that's what I'm all about. Now, that peace, you can't put a price on peace. So listen, that's enough of my rambling. I hope you got something out of today's video. Listen, if you are interested, you guys, in the 3-day diaper cake boot camp that'll be coming up soon, make sure you get on the waiting list so that you will be the first to get all the details. I hope that you guys are having an amazing day. I hope I put a smile on you guys' face today. Remember, I dropped a video earlier this morning on how to do Bantu for all my natural girls out there. Make sure you go give me a thumbs up. Let me know how you like it if you're going to try it. Leave me a comment below this video and let me know what was your favorite lesson that I said I learned in business. Maybe you can learn from some of the mistakes that I made. So anyway, as always, remember you are absolutely enough, and everything that you need, it's already on the inside of you. So God bless, and I hope to see you soon.